Hello there! We all love free stuff, and when it comes to gaming, playing without handing over any cash is a great incentive to jump in, even though later down the line they always have a plan to get money out of you. There are over 200 free-to-play games on console, and today we're highlighting 30 of them in as many different genres as I can find. Some will last you a few evenings, while others will last a lifetime, and some will be erased from history. RIP Multiverses. Here are the best 30 free games. Starting at number 30 and Omega Strikers, which is essentially an air hockey brawler. You and two teammates choose from a roster of over-the-top characters, each with different abilities and skills, and try to outscore the opposition by deflecting the puck off the walls and your own weaponry while simultaneously beating up the other team. It's really simple to understand and a lot of fun with friends. Sadly, less and less people play this game every day, so you'll probably need to organise a group to get the best out of it. Next up is FragPunk, a tactical hero shooter in which two teams go head to head, each with their own skills, but that's not the best thing about FragPunk, as each round we all can use a shard card, which changes the rules of that round. For example, we can change the size of players' heads to make it easier to hit a headshot, we can change the weather to slide around or leave footprint, and we can even call upon a wild hog to rush our opponents. It's absolutely bizarre, and of course the moment-to-moment gunplay can be extremely tense too. Next we have football, or soccer depending on your geography. UFL is the footy game partly owned by Cristiano Ronaldo and is attempting to fight EA Sports without an entry fee. As I'm writing this, the game is 5 months old and has already seen many updates to improve gameplay and the stats of players on the management side, and it's very slowly catching up with the competition and now has over 65,000 professional footballers represented. There's still a long way to go, but UFL is on the way up. At number 27, we have a cozy game, Sky Children of the Light, and it was made by the creators of Journey. We are asked to restore the stars to the heavens above us and set out in the world to explore and solve puzzles. This game is simultaneously a single player and a multiplayer experience, as each of the shadowy figures you see is another player, and should you have the same mission as them, it's possible to work together, building a partnership without any means of communication. It's definitely more of a Zen-like arty game. Next, the first Battle Royale hit on the list. It's My Hero Ultra Rumble. Set in a third-person viewpoint, we choose a character from the My Hero Academia series and team up with other members of the cast. 24 players split into 8 teams of 3, quickly scavenge to upgrade their abilities, and then it's all about fighting, with iconic superpowers, lots of melee hits, and a little bit of ranged combat, until only one team is left surviving. Next we have Fallout Shelter, a management sim in which you are an overseer and run a vault in the Fallout universe, deciding how the residents live. The key to success are happy vault dwellers, so we assign them jobs and pair them up to make the next generation of dwellers. You'll also have to be ready to defend from attacks from raiders and decide if a lone wanderer who rocks up at your door is worthy enough to join your vault. Did you know there's a free version of Gran Turismo 7, horribly titled My First Gran Turismo, as we are given a bite-sized taster into sim racing. We must undertake our driving test, progressing through time trials to perfect our cornering and braking skills, and then on to races. And with races comes new vehicles to unlock and to pimp out as you see fit. There's not a lot of content here, but it is very good. But if you prefer arcade races, take a look at Disney Speedstorm, a game which is the closest thing we've got to a free-to-play Mario Kart on PlayStation and Xbox. We drift while cornering to charge our boosters and sideswipe other players to get in front. Visually, Speedstorm is absolutely packed with Disney and Pixar characters to choose from and unlock, and some of them are voiced too, each with their own style of play. I couldn't decide between two warfare sims, World of Tanks or World of Warships, so here's both. One has us man a single armed tank calculating the distance and drop off shells to take out the opposition's tanks, trying to stay just too far away to be hit, which is essentially the same thing in World of Warships, but on water. Each game has slower, more powerful vehicles against rapid, smaller vehicles with much less hitting power. Which is better, tank or warship? A game which is on the verge of being removed forever is Foamstars. Square's attempt to make a Splatoon-like game has a lot of potential as we build and surf on mountains of bubbles while fighting the opposition who are armed with a different colour of bubble. Claiming as much ground as possible is the way to win. Foamstars right now is only on PlayStation, which is a total travesty as this game is desperate for more players, so bring it to Xbox please. If you prefer a co-op shooter / MMO, take a look at the first Descendant. Essentially, it's a looter shooter like Destiny, but in third person as aliens invade our world. We and a few others possess mysterious powers, and alongside gunplay, we unleash our abilities to hold off the invasion. Each Descendant has a clear playstyle, whether that's more defensive skills to protect and survive longer, or if it's all-out attack increasing pure damage numbers. Roblox finally came to PlayStation in 2023, almost a decade after Xbox, and we quickly realised this goofy looking game is actually a treasure trove of creativity, with a ridiculous blend of user created content which looks and feels completely different from one another. With 85 million players every day, it's something we shouldn't really sleep on, because look at this was made in Roblox, and now my head hurts. A game that switched to a free-to-play model earlier this year is Arcadegeddon, a roguelike shooter set in a world that constantly changes, making each run of the game a different experience. It can be played solo or with up to 3 friends to explore multiple biomes, find little mini-games, unlock chests and loot, and take on multiple types of enemy and boss fights too, all to protect the arcade that we love. This can be quite a relaxing game, or with online leaderboards, it can be ultra competitive too. Next, the behemoth that is Apex Legends. The long-running battle royale game was the first to include a ping system, which you'll see in pretty much every game these days. When scavenging and sharing loot, it was groundbreaking at the time. This BR stands out from the opposition by blending first-person gunplay with hero abilities, all within this sci-fi world. The roster of legends has slowly grown over the years, and the dedication to master each of those legends could take you years. If card trading games are your bag, check out Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel, with a crazy dedicated player base who will happily stomp the life out of you online. Luckily, there is a solo mode too to learn the basics and get a little bit better. Master Duel has us building a deck of cards, with over 10,000 of them available and more coming in the future, each with different stats and boosts to learn. Each match is set up to get you one step closer to the perfect deck. Good luck! Next, ZZZ, or Zenless Zone Zero, another action RPG, but this time it's lightning fast. A dimension of monsters are invading again, and a group of hackers stand up against them. The action is all real time as we build up combos using melee and ranged attacks, leading up to special moves, which do more damage of course. And as we have multiple characters, we can quick swap continually building our combos. It's incredibly stylized, and out of combat there's enough going on in this world to keep most players gripped for a long time. I wanted to put Multiverses on the list now, but that game was cancelled. So the mantle of best free-to-play platform fighter goes to Brawlhalla. With over 80 million players over the years, the goal remains the same: to knock your opponents out of the arena. This is another fast-paced game with every character having a unique playstyle, which are all easy to pick up and play. Game modes can vary from one-on-one face-offs all the way up to 8-player brawls, which honestly is impossible to keep up with. And with so many crossover IPs, we don't need multiverses anymore because the TMNT can fight Master Chief here. Another action-adventure game is Infinity Nikki, as we play the titular star exploring the magical world around us in this dress-up game. The mechanics is pretty cool though. By finding and crafting garments, we unlock different abilities, like gliding for longer distances, and there's even outfits for animal grooming and summoning rainbows. Infinity Nikki has a range of activities from combat to general platforming to a little puzzle solving and even fishing, and more outfits and abilities will be added over the months and years to come. If an action RPG is more your pace, then Genshin Impact is a great shout as it's solo or co-op. The anime style fantasy open world is littered with things to do and find, all while guided by one of the most annoying sidekicks in gaming history, Paimon. Ugh. The world is entwined with different elemental types, as we can harness those elements and use them in combat. By choosing the right one, we will either get a damage output increase, or sometimes we will accidentally heal the enemy. Luckily, we can switch characters freely and juggle Pyro and Geo and Electro and all the other elements as we see fit. On to Fall Guys now. Do you remember the summer of 2020? Everyone was trying to earn a victory crown as Battle Royale became a game show. Now in 2025, Fall Guys has swelled its content as we run, jump, grab, and inevitably fall off the map, all in the hopes of crossing the finish line before time runs out, or before we're grabbed by another player and getting knocked out. If you haven't played in a while, you should know that Fall Guys have many more maps and levels to play than a few years ago, and a lot of user-generated content, which I've got to admit isn't very good yet, but it is getting better. A criminally underrated game is The Finals, a cooperative team shooter set up like a game show based on theft. We physically steal safes and grab as much cash as possible, while simultaneously fending off other teams of real players doing the same thing. The wow moment comes in the form of destruction. It's like Battlefield out here, as walls and roofs can be decimated to create new paths, each more unsuspecting than the last. And even the objectives aren't safe either, as blowing up the ground beneath them can let them fall straight through it. Quite surprising the first time you see it done. It's impossible to have a free games list without mentioning Warframe. The ultra long running action shooter has us collecting Warframes, each different from the last, like a sword wielding ninja to a frame that wields concrete. The breadth of options is humongous, and to unlock them we collect parts in the world and literally build the new character we helm, alongside a cryptic story which recently travelled back to 1999 and gave us a motorcycle. Warframe has been with us for over a decade and has a full completionist time of 792 hours and 55 minutes. Wow, good luck with that. Another game that switched to free-to-play is The Sims 4, the social simulation game that has us create a character and build them a home, and then slowly customize every part of their life, upgrading their couch and their TV and even their swimming pool. And one of your jobs is to find a partner so you can have kids and eventually stave off a visit from the Grim Reaper himself. If you're not into replicating real life, just create perfect buildings without any financial restraints and just wish you lived there. A game I did not expect to have in my top 10 when I started writing this is Destiny 2. The first-person shooter with some of the best feeling weaponry in gaming history has been around for over 25 seasons now, and a decent portion of that content is rotated in and out each week for free-to-play gamers. Plus, a well-crafted story to run through for those who didn't play the original game, which keeps the lore and narrative preserved for everyone. If you're wondering why this game is so high on my list, it comes down to the one thing only this game does on this list, and that's raids, where 6 players go on an impossible assassination mission into enemy strongholds, solving a few puzzles along the way, without any guidance I may add, while constantly being pursued by hordes of minions. Some of my best memories are in Destiny 2. Man, raids are great. Another game we can't ignore is Call of Duty Warzone, the Battle Royale mode that took the world by storm in 2022. The premise is simple: jump out of a plane and take out other military units to be the last squad surviving. Yet it's the super satisfying gunplay only seen in Call of Duty games that sets Warzone apart from other games. Another great tweak is creating your own perfect loadout and then calling it in mid-game to decimate anyone who stands against you. That depends if you can be bothered putting in the time to build a custom loadout. Next is Valorant, a tactical team shooter based on Counter-Strike, but blending that with a hero shooter vibe, like Overwatch. In teams, we either plant or attempt to disarm a bomb, while the other team does the opposite. Each ability we have can impact every game, but accuracy remains king here, as a single shot to the dome is enough to end your participation in the round. Map knowledge and understanding angles takes a lot of time, but it's worth it, I'm told. I still absolutely suck at this game. It can get quite sweaty playing this game, so good luck. Next is Overwatch 2, but before you skip this, it has something new. Overwatch Stadium, a new mode that lets us constantly upgrade our characters between rounds, kinda like Valorant does. But instead of buying guns, we buy abilities. Everyone begins with a base character and then slowly changes their stats and loadout, reacting to the opposition. It can be as simple as a health boost, or increasing your DPS, or choosing an epic upgrade to counter a player who's decimating your backline. Feedback is very positive, so maybe Overwatch 2 is back. Not that it went anywhere, but it did get overshadowed by the next one on the list. We're in the top 3 now. This is Marvel Rivals, the game that took the best bits of Overwatch 1 and added Marvel superheroes and supervillains. A 6-on-6 team shooter in which every character has a massively different skill set to master, and there'll be over 50 characters to choose from within the next year. It may take a lifetime to get good at playing everyone on this roster. NetEase's ability to balance Marvel Rivals will be the determining factor as to how long this game will bring in huge player numbers and hype for new seasons. Right now they say every character is overpowered, which makes nobody overpowered. Do you agree? In second spot is Rocket League, which still to this day is the greatest free-to-play sports game ever made. Who would have known that supersonic, acrobatic, rocket-powered battle cars playing football would have been so revolutionary? The brilliance of Rocket League is the incredibly high skill ceiling, but very easy to learn basics. Use a car to hit a ball into a goal, yet it's the player's own mechanical skill which determines victory and, more often than not, the beauty of scoring goals. Positional sense and mathematical knowledge of angles is important, but it's also mindless fun sometimes, and ooh, look, nice cars. And finally, shocking no one at all, my number 1 choice of the best free-to-play game ever released is Fortnite. It began life as a failing tower defense game, but once Battle Royale hit, Fortnite never looked back, and now is on pretty much every imaginable platform with crossplay and cross progression. But the reason Fortnite is my number 1 here is the extra content it's now filled with. A Guitar Hero music mode, a Lego Minecraft mode, a racing mode, a first-person tactical shooter mode, and it's absolutely packed with user-generated content. Fortnite remains king of free-to-play in 2025, and with the OG mode bringing back the heyday of Fortnite Battle Royale, it's tough to resist Fortnite. So there we have it, let me know your opinions, and the future of free games looks to be bountiful, with the likes of Splitgate 2, Path of Exile 2, and even Rainbow Six Siege coming to the free-to-play market. Not to mention Ananta, an anime GTA style game, is coming too. I have a separate video about that one coming soon. But right now, which free-to-play games have you put the most time in over your life? I'm Adam, you're awesome, it's been a pleasure, my voice is hurting, see ya!